All right, so here's what I've learned. Here's the secret to kicking this virus. It's not a pill or a potion. It's about your will and devotion. The virus wants us to lay down. The virus wants us to take it. Other than the blessed few, the rest of us who get this are going to have an experience unlike anything else they've ever had. Days and waves. The old notion of get in bed and stay there when you get sick, it sounds great. And if you're really up against it, you need to do as little as possible. I've been there. Trust me, I know. But you can't stay there. Now I am wise to the beast and its ways. It changes. The fever is just softening us up. It's making your body hurt, so you don't want to move your body because what it wants to do is get in your lungs. That's what it wants to do. I feel it constricting my chest. When I had that chest x-ray done, I saw that infiltrate right away. Now, I also have something else I haven't told you. I have a low IgM level, which is the primary immune response antibody. I've always had a low level, okay? It's not something recent. It could be genetic, it could be cultural, I don't know. But it makes me susceptible to things like bronchitis and crap like that. So there I was on Friday night, okay? I was not gonna do the show tonight. I was done. I was in a pool of sweat. 12 hours later, I was in the same damn place. I hadn't slept a minute. I was just soaked and scared, honest to God. So then I get a call from a friend of a friend of a friend. Now this keeps happening to me now. This new reality of how much people just care. I have this new network of not just sources, but really good people. And they all come this way, friend of a friend of a friend. Why? Because we're all battling this all over the country and the world, and people want to beat the beast. So this doctor calls me up, asks me about my symptoms. He's a pulmonary expert, and says, can you get up? I say, yeah, I can get up. He says, do it. He says, can you stretch your torso? I said, what do you mean? He says, put your arms over your head. I go like this. I'm like, oh, God. It's like, yeah, no, it doesn't feel that good. He said, do it. He said, can you hold your breath for 10 seconds? I said, probably not, to be honest. He said, do it. And then he gave me the key. He said, he heard me say that I wanted to keep this out of my lungs. And he said, I saw your x-rays. It's in your lungs. And you got the right fear and you got the wrong approach. You can't wait it out. He said, you have to fight. And not in some silly metaphorical way. This isn't about like channeling Rocky or Eye of the Tiger. You've got to do the things that will beat this virus. You've got to breathe deep when it hurts. And it hurts. I know it hurts. And I'm not trying to minimize anybody's pain. When you get a fever spike and that hurts, he said, you can't take confidence that it's going to go down. There are going to be spikes for at least 10 days when you get a fever. You got to layer up. You got to drink. You got to take Tylenol. And you got to fight back. You've got to make that fever go down any way you can. The chest gets you. It makes you small. It's really what defines this COVID. And the COVID is banking on you doing nothing. Your indolence, as the doctors call it. It wants us passive on our backs. It wants us to do nothing. The answer has to be to do everything. I lie on my side. I lie on my stomach. I'm up. I'm doing my breathing. I know I've got that stuff in my lungs. I'm not going to lose to this thing that way. No way. No way I'm going to do that to my wife and my kids and all the people who care about me. I'm not going into the hospital for something that I can avoid it, if I can avoid it. So that's it. All day, all night, hundo P, 100%. That's why I have to keep working. First of all, because I can, and if I can, I should. And it's because it's a way for me to help. There has to be a purpose to this. You know, I'm not just going to go through the suck here for some sense of self-satisfaction to make it through. I want to write this all up. I want to get it out to you guys afterwards so you have a better chance against this than I did. I'll show you the x-rays, the good and the bad, the blood work, hopefully to come, my supplements, my diet. Why? I want you to have it easier than I did. That's a part of my job too, to give you the information that helps you have a better life, especially now. And to return the favor for you guys being so incredible with your love and attention. That's why I had to come at the government, specifically in the prism of this president, when he says things that play to our weaknesses. It's not his job. It's, you know, to test. That really? He doesn't want the federal government to test? What the hell is his job if it's not to do everything that he can? This has to be desperation on all fronts. Personally, as a function of community, and in terms of our leadership. We have to be desperate to beat this. That is the way we will all get better.
I'll tell you this.
I love these. I think you should have one every day.
Yes, I have been. I know you haven't noticed.
Oh.
Yes.
Sorry.
Yes, it's sort of like the way you have a show. Yes, I do a briefing. You have Cuomo primetime, I have Cuomo all the time.
It's the cute brotherly moments like that that has America totally swooning over the Cuomo brothers.
You know, it's not doing great with my hair. I have to be honest. It's tough to keep hair the way I want it to look. You look like you've been cutting your own hair, which some people are good at, some people are not.
Chris and Andrew Cuomo have been in the public eye a whole lot more since the coronavirus outbreak started.
My brother Christopher, as I told you yesterday, tested positive for the coronavirus. He's at home.
Chris, who tested positive for COVID-19 last month, is still hosting his CNN show Cuomo Primetime from home. And he frequently interviews his big brother, who is the governor of New York.
People will be remembered for how they stepped up right now and what they did and what they didn't do. And I'm very proud of you, big brother, I'll tell you that.
We joke a lot, but the strength that you showed here and the dedication to journalism and your skill and your ability to make this okay for people and to communicate it. Not only do I love you, I've always been proud of you, but I've never been prouder of you than I am right now.
Yeah, they have been all kinds of cute, and America is freaking loving it. Now, a source close to Chris tells ET the brothers are aware of the Cuomo crush and hashtag Cuomo brothers. They think it's cute and playful.
We're talking about my brother. We're talking about my little brother. This is my best friend.
The source jokingly adds, quote, although Chris doesn't understand why people think Andrew is so handsome.
My pop would be proud. I love you, little brother. And even though this isn't a flattering picture, I did not pick this picture with your mouth open, but it is suitable in some ways.
And despite the internet's obsession with them, they're not letting the hype distract them from their work. Both brothers know the responsibility they have during this global crisis, and they take their job seriously. Chris has lighthearted moments during interviews with his brother, but isn't afraid to ask him tough questions and hold him accountable. They both respect what the other does, and both are extremely proud of one another despite the ribbing.
He found out yesterday morning that he had coronavirus. He did his show last night. He did a show last night from his basement. What a gutsy, courageous thing to do.
Chris is still recovering from the virus at his home in Long Island. And one of my all-time favorite Cuomo brother moments went down when Chris was explaining the hallucinations that he had due to his high fever.
You came to me in a dream. You had on a very interesting ballet outfit, and you were dancing in the dream, and you were waving a wand and saying, I wish I could wave my wand and make this go away. And then you spun around and you danced away.
The look on Andrew's face, though.
Well, that's, there's a lot of metaphoric reality in that one. I thank you for sharing that with us. It was kind of you. Obviously, it
I can't
has.
get that picture out of my head. That's all I see when I look at you.
Obviously, the fever has affected your mental capacity. And
Yeah. And being alone all the time. I think everything I say is funny.
And I'll leave you with this.
I know you're working hard for your state, but no matter how hard you're working, there's always time to call Mom. She wants to hear from you, just so you know.
Yeah, I called Mom. Just
Not what she
before I
said.
came on this show.
It's not what
By
she
the
said.
way, she said I was her favorite.
She never said
Good news is she said you were her second favorite. Second favorite son,
No.
Christopher.
Now, you know, I've seen you referred to a little bit recently as the love gov, and I'm wondering if that's bleeding into your demeanor at all, making you a little soft on the president, that you don't want to really criticize him because you need him, and now's not a time for fighting. But don't you have to balance that with calling him out if he's doing things that you don't think are great for the people of your state to be hearing and experiencing? Love gov?
I've always been a soft guy. I am the love gov. I'm a cool dude in a loose mood. You know that. I just say, let it go. Just go with the flow, baby. You know, You can't control anything,
never
so
said
don't
any of
even
those
try.
things.
Water off a duck's
It's the
back.
first time you've
That's
said
me.
any
No,
of
yeah,
those.
I think I, really? Yeah, wow.
Never said any of them.
Look,
I've known you my whole life.
All right. Well, that's your opinion. Yeah. Well, you should listen better. Listening works. Not always talking. What was the question? Oh, I remember the question.
You're soft on the president.
I am
Why?
in a situation. Yeah. Well, that's your characterization, first of all, right? So you don't state it as a question because you have a characterization in there that is a premise. I am working with the president cooperatively. It's very important that the federal government and state government work together during this time. I have to do my best job for the people of this state. You cannot say, look, I've been the governor in this country who's been the most critical of the president up until now. And by the way, there's no governor that he's been more critical of than me. So nobody's going to say I've gone too soft on the president. We're working together to help the state. That's what's important now. No politics, no personality, no ego, no ego. It's not about you. It's not about me. It's about we and getting through this. And that's my singular focus. There'll be a day and a time for everything. But this is not the time and place. Gabish.
Yes, capisco. The Bernie Sanders is out. The word is that this increases the chances with Senator Sanders out that you may get it in the race for president. Is that true?
Is that the word? Well, then it must be true.
That's the word on the street.
Right.
Is that?
Oh, the word
is that
on
a
the
yes?
street?
I'm sorry,
Well,
I didn't hear an answer. Was it responsive? You're not responsive.
I'm just saying, if that's the word, who am I to argue with the word, right?
So then the senator leaving the race has changed your thinking. Is that what you're saying, Governor?
Has the senators leaving the race changed my thinking? In what way?
Are you now giving different consideration to running for president?
No.
So you are still not thinking.
But why?
Well, it's definitely a good question.
Well, I am thinking. I'm a thinking being. I'm thinking about a lot of things.
I bet.
Yeah.
Are you not thinking about running for president because now there is more political momentum around the idea of you accepting a vice presidential bid from Joe Biden? Is that something that you're considering?
First of all, I'm glad to see you're feeling better. I can tell you're feeling better because your animation and I know.
Answer whenever you like.
Joe Biden is a personal friend of mine. I've worked with him. He's been a great friend to this state. I support him. I have for years, and he's going to be, I believe, an excellent Democratic candidate and a leader. Second, I have said repeatedly, my plans, when I said I wanted to run for governor, I said to the people of my state, I will serve as your governor. People asked me, well, will you run for president? I said, no. I'm not that guy, Chris. I'm not that politician who says, yeah, I want to, it's all about me and the next step on the ladder.
Even if your party is jumping up and down with signs,
I'm going to be true to my word.
And they call you and say, we need you,
they can jump up and down. Yeah, LoveGov says, no way. I gave my word, and my word is good. I'm not your typical guy. Don't laugh. You're going to pay, Chris. One day you're going to be better. And then we'll have a discussion. But in the meantime,
I just want to ask the question. So for right now, it's a no.
I'm not going to be vice president.
Or VP. Yeah. VP either. No VP, no P.
What does VP stand for?
Vice President,
something?
Sir.
Principled? Oh,
Vice
no, not if
very,
that's what it stands for, yes.
So neither one. All right, good. Okay. Now, there's an important campaign you're pushing for people right now called Stay Home. And who are you staying home for? It's a good idea. It's a good way to connect the personal commitment of what they're doing. My decision is, and as I posted today very early before anybody else responded to the call that you put out, I'm staying home for my mother. Because I love her, and at her age, she's uniquely vulnerable to the virus. And that's why making the move out of the house that Christina and I made was 100% our own, and we did it early. Who are you staying home for? Because I'm staying home for my mom.
Yeah, the whole campaign is dedicated to my mother. And I said that first thing this morning when I posted my picture.
I didn't hear you say anything.
Who are you staying at home for? Yeah,
right.
my mother, I'm staying home for
Oh,
my
you're
mother.
staying at home for your mom too. Isn't it weird though after I just said it?
No, I went first. I had my picture at my press conference saying I'm doing it for my mother. And yes, because it's a point that I want people to understand. If you don't want to stay home for
there's me with
yourself,
mom right now.
then, yeah, well, I had my picture this morning while you were still sleeping, and I showed it at my press conference. And people have to understand, you want to be reckless with your own life, don't endanger others. And that's what the Stay at Home For campaign is all about.
Beautiful.
Don't endanger healthcare
Beautiful. I love
workers, don't endanger vulnerable people.
I love it. And
she was
literally
my
the
mother
people who are
first,
saving
by the
our
way.
lives. That is true. That when you win that point,
Yeah.
100%. You were born
Yes.
first.
Thank you.
And the healthcare workers are begging us to do this for them. And I love the idea of the campaign. So I'm shifting my answer. You can have it. You can have mom. Because that's, what the bigger person does. I'm going to stay at home for these two guys. Here's my new choice. I'm staying home for these guys. Put up the picture. That's what I'm cueing right now. Put up the picture. Yes. I'm staying home for these two guys in the front. You know why? Can you see the picture?
All right. No, I can't see it.
You can see it.
I can't see it.
So I'm staying
I
staying
can't
home
see
for
it.
these two guys. Oh, you can see it.
I can't see it. Yeah,
So
I
there's
can't see
you
it.
in one of your
Bye,
signature
Chris.
Huckapoo shirt. No. Don't you do
Yeah.
it. Put the microphone
Yes.
back on. Don't be like that. And
No.
don't hold it in your hand
No.
because the hand swallows up the
Take
whole
that
microphone.
picture
I can't
down.
get any sound out of it.
Take
Put it back up.
the picture down.
Put it back up. There he is. And here's why I'm doing it for these guys. Because this is the guy who helped me shape who I am today. Look how I was looking at him so lovingly back then. I know it looks like I'm just staring at his diamond-crusted belt buckle, but I'm not. I'm actually staring up at the young man who made me so proud as his brother back then in my Billy the Kids, and now. And just if you want to tell people, Huckapoo was your signature look back then. You've abandoned it. Why? Huckapoo.
There are no words. There are no words.
So facts.
That was not me.
Straight down the middle. Straight down the middle. Straight down the middle.
3 minutes is up. 3 minutes is up.
Governor, it is good to remind people
Yes, sir.
that they are just coming to love you now as much as I have my whole life. And it's because of your commitment to what you do for other people. It's what matters most to me about you.
Yeah.
And I love you very much. Thank you for coming on the show. Thank you for keeping my spirits up. And thank you for what you're doing for the state.
Oh, I'd like to say it was my pleasure, but it wasn't.
Why? Come on.
We'll talk later. Have a good show. Have a good show.
I thought this was a fruitful
Bye.
conversation. Governor, thank you. I'll talk to you soon.
Bye.